Well, hello, and welcome back to what's the game called? Genshin Impact. I am feeling a bit under the weather, so I might not do a stream for too long. Alright, the agenda. I'm gonna read some books. A good place to read the books. Let's pick a location. Why not Cheney Vale? Where was that place again? I believe it's down here somewhere. Mount Shuanlian, that's right. Alright, that's a good place. Okay. Just some books left. This looks quite long. Feline firm. Oh my god. Toki Alley Tales. I haven't completely finished it. Only one's missing. 3, 4, and 6. Thousand Nights. Still missing. Alright, so really it's just 2 books. Man, this long. But we'll read it. Alright. Anecdota Septentrionalis. An ancient Remirian scroll you accidentally discovered in the ruins. There is no way to verify the truth of the words within. So it's Remuria stuff? Alright. From time immemorial, those respected poets, playwrights, and historians have loved to write that which is utterly absurd, and have the temerity to call it their real experiences. Anyone who cares to look can tell it's a pack of lies, and still, they insist on extravagantly embellishing everything, while bending over backward to maintain a facade of sincerity, swearing that I saw it all with my own eyes. Not a word of it is false, as though they cared not an iota how they would be ridiculed in the ages to come. For example, Xanthus Talasi, Philius. Why is Philius not capitalized? Oh, whatever. Wrote of his meetings with the barbarians in the north, speaking of how they use glass and platinum to build their prosperous polis amongst the mountains, calling their king a knight. He even claimed that they have 72 legions, each comprised of 66,600 soldiers, all armed with weapons forged with the purest of source water, brighter even than the crystals of Makimos. In reality, he has not in his life even set foot outside of Capitolium. Forget barbarians, he's probably never even seen barbecued eel. However, it must be said, his stories are interesting at least, as such to satiate my own vanity. I felt I too must write something for posterity. However, I have no experiences worth mentioning, and am unlike those respectable folks who name the cock and bull stories they concoct true accounts. So I will freely and honestly admit that everything I write is completely, utterly fabricated. After all, since I've admitted it up front like this, nobody can call me a fraud. Anyway, the events I shall now commit to paper have never been heard of before, nor experienced by anybody, and are nothing more than pure nonsense that I have fabricated with no basis in reality. It is not more truthful than tales of Loch Knights, so you need not believe any of it. But the Loch Knights true? Thus we weighed anchor and set sail, traveling ever northward, passing through the territory of the barbarians. With the tailwind spurring us on, our goal was simple: to see just what the edge of the ocean looks like. According to Quintilius, the high sea ends in impassable waterfalls in every direction. But this was evidently utterly wrong. After all, he did not the respected Juvenalis also write of the faraway kingdom in the north? Anyway, the further north we went, the less land we saw. At first, there were still clusters of islands and archipelagos covering the sea's expanse, but later, there were little more than tiny bare isles dotting the waves remaining. A few days of sailing water, even those islets vanished, leaving nothing but boundless blue. Fortunately, we had brought sufficient supplies of fresh water and food, and were in no danger of dying from thirst or starvation. We sailed for 79 days without sight of land. We were originally planning on turning back at that point, but to our surprise, on the 80th day, in the middle of the ocean we were attacked. A group of bandits riding on the backs of giant birds blocked our path, and asked us for potatoes. Potatoes? What? If you wish to know just how gargantuan those birds were, I can tell you that each of their feathers are as thick as the ocean pillars. With absolutely no hope of resisting, all we could do was fall to our knees and pray to Sebastos to deliver us, to let us live another day, and we swore to never again travel so recklessly. A right baffling, believe it or not, travelogues. But in a flash, faster than words could describe, warriors riding blubber beasts surged up from beneath the sea surface, each blubber beast larger than 50 sumpter beasts, their entire bodies draped in armor made of crystals and scales of dragons and cabbages, and they tore into the massive birds, biting them until they cried for their mummies and daddies, and soon they fled without a trace. Mummies and daddy? I feel like some parts are true, but some parts are not. It was only then that we noticed that the appearance of those knights was completely different from that of us humans. They were more like bipedal vishaps, with those eyes of his, glowing with their strange light. The leader of the knights spent some time sizing us up, before casually speaking with winged words. "Dear guests, are you merchants from Serenum? We had not the slightest clue of what kind of place Serenum was. So he told him the whole story, that we were seafarers from Remuria, and wanted to see what the end of the ocean looked like. Traveled north, and encountered bishop people? Huh. Volume 2. Hearing our words, he burst into laughter, and he laughed so hard that even the sail fin on his back shook. As he howled with laughter, he managed to say that there is no such place as Remuria, merely a fake history invented by the southern barbarians who, not having their own civilization, created a fictional empire that simply didn't exist. We said that no, we were Remurians, and he guffawed even louder, and asked us to provide some kind of reliable historical data or archaeological evidence that could prove Remuria really exists. We simply could not produce the proofs, and he assured us that these sorts of strange fantasies were not illegal in their lands, and so long as we did not eat Sansetias in public, we would still be honored guests in the Empire of Solaris. Sansetias in public? What? He went on, saying that based on our clothing, We probably weren't secret agents of the rebel army, but we're likely traveling traders from Hyperborea. The Empire was currently in a state of civil war, and they hoped we could assist them in defeating said rebels. It turned out that the Solaris Empire has very advanced technology, and some decades ago a philosopher named Lucilius invented a way for some people to obtain extraordinary abilities far exceeding those of ordinary mortals. But it came at a price. Their appearances would change to be unlike those of ordinary people. Some believe that this practice destroyed the purity of humanity, and those with special powers had but two options: to be slaves or to be destroyed utterly. And so the two sides quickly came to blows. It was a fight to the death, with oceans of blood being spilled. I comforted him on the spot, telling him that in my opinion this type of thing has been happening since ancient times. I could think of at least 20 plays on the spot, each revolving around this exact theme. This too was a reflection of just how the arts of the Remuria were flourishing. Pisculentums Torrentius at once praises humanity at being equal yet powerful creatures, while also describing how only a small number of people innately possess special powers, and has them go off and conquer and destroy all others, no? I recommended they just stop researching technology to alter humanity, and instead focus their efforts on technology to alter blubber beasts, as blubber beasts are far more likable than humans. He said he would consider my wise suggestion, but that the more pressing matter was exterminating the despicable traitors. So long as we were willing to lend a helping hand, he would give us the most powerful Imperial blubber beast mounts to ride, and we would lead 13 of his legions, each with 1 million soldiers. For a total of 13 million soldiers. Yep, yeah, I kinda got that. And outflank the enemy to their left. As he had saved us from a rebel attack, we assented to his request. Dear readers, everything I described above I saw with my own eyes, not aware of it as false. As for the war that followed, it was even more unbelievable. I remember a blind slave who followed us, singing thusly: "Sing, O musicians, sing of the rage of the blubber beast which brought countless ills." And just like that, the army of blubber beasts rolled forward, swallowing everything in its path like all-devouring flames. And the earth trembled and shook beneath their flippers. We arrayed our forces in formation upon the plains, and the leading officer prayed to their god, before drawing taut, a bowstring, and loosing, sending a dog hurtling towards the rebel forces. Okay, they're shooting dogs, alright. The sound of the silver bow was unmanning to all who heard. But the rebels were not to be outdone, and they sent forth 5 million giants, armed to the teeth. These giants were enormous, each dozen of times larger than the golems made by Sebastos' own hand, and they were said to be the reinforcements that the rebels had adjured forth from the sea floor. Though these giants each had but one eye, well, such things are quite normal after all. The giants of which Pacuvius wrote are all like this. They had exceptional eyesight, and at the command of the rebel leader, they began to hurl bullfruit at our troops with astonishing accuracy. These fruits would burst upon impact with the ground, spitting out masses of bubbles. Should you be touched by a bubble, you would float high up into the sky until you flew straight into the sun. That is why the sun and bullfruit have a similar color. As for the war's conclusion, our respected playwrights throughout history virtually never write of such things. They wish to leave enough space for future stories. Out of respect for their traditions, therefore I too shall go ahead and skip that part. Just decided to skip the war. Conclusion. Volume 3. After those events, we continued sailing onward for another 300 days. Another 300? On a vast, featureless ocean. I guess they got their new supplies from Solaris. I mean, all that beau fruit and Sunsettias. Finally, we arrived at a tall wall in the middle of the sea, stretching out of sight, high up into the sky. Countless densely packed human figures were suspended from the wall, and though they had neither bodies nor muscles, their forms could clearly be seen. All on this earth who speak lies or pen falsehoods in their writings will be hung from the wall to receive judgment after their death. As for those who built the wall, for what lies beyond it, I do not know. For everything in this travelogue is completely true, and thus we had no way to get close to the wall. Hence we promptly began rowing backward with all haste, doing our utmost to flee that place, and I hope to never again get anywhere close to it. That evening we arrived at a stretch of calm seas, close to a rather small island. Our freshwater supplies were nearly exhausted, so we made landfall in the hopes of replenishing them. It was then that every member of our party smelled a strange yet rich fragrance, and even the finest perfumes of Capitolium paled in comparison. It turns out that the island was inhabited, and they had even built a prosperous polis. Everything in the city was made of gold, and was surrounded by a series of 12 walls, each wall constructed of a different kind of precious gemstone. The first was made of amethyst, and the second of purple agate, the third jadeite, the fourth rubellite, the fifth of jasper, the sixth of topaz, the seventh of ruby, the eighth of cornelian, and ninth of emerald, the 10th of chrysoprase, the 11th of sapphire, and the 12th of jade. A great moat surrounded the city walls, a few hundred meters wide, and the fluid flowing therein was not water, but fresh milk. Okay, and that which swam within were pickled fish, already fully cured, ready to eat upon cash. I know about pickled fish marinated in milk, or fresh milk. I'm not sure that really tastes that great. The residents of the island seem to be all women. Oh, nice. And each and every one was dressed elegantly, their faces comely and youthful. They approached us one after the other, taking the initiative and hugging us by way of welcome. The name of the island is Amoria, and they said it means love. Amor. Mi amor. I see. They eagerly invited us into their homes as guests, and said they'd give us countless treasures as gifts. Enough for us to buy all of Mickey Mouse. I began to feel a faint sense of unease. For could people who fawn over strangers so exist outside of the books of Ennius? But my companions were all quite familiar with those classic tales, and so found nothing strange at all about this, and followed them back to their homes. I had no choice but to feign delight on one hand, while secretly bringing with me the war booty the Solarians had presented me with, a beau fruit. I followed one of the women back to her home, and went inside and looked around carefully, and just as I expected, no human bones all around. I promptly fished out the beau fruit and took aim at her, demanding she tell me what was going on, but she only laughed uproariously, turning into a pool of water and disappearing in the blink of an eye. I immediately gathered all my companions, and we fled back to our ship before we had a chance to gather any fresh water. But as we stared, there was no island at all, only the vast ocean behind us. As for how the story will unfold, pay close attention, for all will be revealed in the next chapter. Well, is this just waste my time? So it was all fake. Yeah, he cited Remuria and cited Sebastos and the golems. I don't know. Feline firm. One day, the mysterious feline firm sends an invitation to the dorm on Peru. Just what kind of adventures await him? On an afternoon much like many others, Peru let out an extended yawn and was rubbing his eyes when he suddenly caught sight of a golden invitation lying silently in the flower bed. Sunlight illuminated the card's cover, and the words emblazoned upon it. To Monsieur Peru, shone brighter than scattered mora. His eyes widened. He was but the humblest of bellboys, greeting every visitor who came calling at the master's door with a respectful monsieur or madame. This was the first time anyone had ever addressed him so politely as Monsieur Peru. Who left it here, and without him ever noticing it too? He blinked a few times, then blinked again, confirming over and over that it was not some iridescent trick of the light. Then he opened the invitation. We are deeply grateful for the deliciousness you provided for us. Please do us the honor. Homer? Of paging us a visit. Yours, the feline firm. The crooked lettering seems as though it had been written with the coarse of quill pens. It was utterly unsuited for the golden cover of the card. So it's purposefully typoed. Purposefully misspelt. See. Feline firm. Was there really some kind of firm named Feline? It couldn't really be an agency started by cats, right? Peru did often feed the stray cats on the street with leftovers. Just call out kitty, 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 and the cats would come running right over. However, without any food on offer, the cats would be quite cautious, even around Peru. With that in mind, Peru flipped the invitation over to look at the bag. Perhaps you are unfamiliar with that agency's location. At the 12th turning of the north wind, follow the fish scales forward and you will see a row of carriages. After the 10th chiming of the bells, there will be but one carriage left over. Jump into the shadows beneath it, and we will be waiting there. We will be waiting there. Giving the time and location like that. Was this some kind of nonsensical magic? Maybe someone was pranking him. Still, all the typos littered throughout their letter and their special attention to fish scales really did make it seem like a cat. That is, if cats could write and really had their own offices. North wind, fish scales, carriages. Oh right. During the day, fishmongers set up their stalls 12 blocks south from where he was. And did the rubbish collection carriages not come every night or 10 o'clock and stop there? They would take the massive heaps of trash generated in the city over the entire day outside. And then, at 12, they'd come back. Clickety-clack. Yes, this must be the language magic of cats. Only someone like Peru who understood cats as well as he understood the city and understood the city as well as he understood its cats could decipher it. Right. Am I seeing things? Only someone like Peru who understood cats as well as he understood the city and understood the city as well as he understood the cats could decipher it. What? Understood the cats as well as understood this. He understands the city and understand the city as well as understood the cats. Okay. Peru's heart began to pound, for this was a secret known only to him. When it's time to change shifts, better hurry. Me. I've got an appointment to keep with the cats. Me? Is Peru a cat? Volume 2. Having deciphered the feline spell, Peru finds the entrance to the firm, and just like that, jumps into the shadows beneath. And then... You're here, please have a seat. The cats were quite happy. Yeah, it sure wasn't easy finding your offices. That night, Peru had followed the directions given in the invitation, looking, searching. As it turned out, there was a single carriage among the trash carriages with a broken wheel that was always parked in place. Beneath it, he had found a dark hole that had merged with the shadows. faint light and indistinct sounds coming from within, as well as a spiral staircase descending downward. And this was the well-hidden feline firm. This is the nature of strays. Please try to understand. Golden eyes narrowed. The cat with stripes like those of a tiger seemed to speak humbly, yet its tail was arched most proudly. Peru recognized it immediately. This fellow would often laze about upon the master's windowsill, languidly swishing his tail. As for the others, Peru was not quite so familiar. The tiger-striped tabby cat introduced each of them. The boss cat, none other than the tabby himself. The enforcer, the cat to the left with a full sleeve tattoo. The calico to the right was quite clever. The letter to Peru had been written by a brush fashioned from hairs pulled from every cat, and written by this very calico. And then there's this firewood cat too, but ugly and mangy, missing some fur. But don't even think about underestimating her. These were the very cats that comprised the feline firm, which solved the problems that perplexed the cats of the city. In that case, just what difficulties has the feline firm resolved? Peru asked curiously. The tabby's tail twitched to the left, and the cat with the full sleeve came forward. I'm the muscle here, see? The full sleeve they call me, yeah? Our boss Snorzilla over there. He gives me commissions and I'm the one that what solves them, see? That cat boss, he opened up a right big fancy hotel, yeah? Everybody as tip-top as what the humans got when it first opened. There's tons of customers to be had. The cats even had their own grand hotel. Peru nearly reached for his notebook to write it all down. Even Peru had only passed by the doors, peering inside with envy. That feeling was like picking up a candy wrapper as a child, and being unable to stop himself from licking it. Oh, good dang. But wouldn't you know, Boss's snoring was so roaring loud that the customers couldn't even catch a single wink. Business took a dive, see? Yeah, see? Then one day a horde of rats showed up and started buying them customers things and whatnot, yeah? Then Boss showed them what for. Was the hero, eh? After that, whenever customers heard he snores, they would be at peace and say, good kitty, good kitty. But you see, that hotel didn't have any rats in the first place, yeah? It was all me, catching them at night and bringing them back, and catching them again, you follow? Ah. So it was the enforcer that was doing all the work. The cat with the full sleeve arm tattoo completed the ever-snoring cat boss's commission. What did the other do? Peru's curiosity remained unabated. Why is he the boss? The full-sleeve cat finished its story, and the tabby's tail twitched to the right. The calico stepped forward elegantly, before delivering a graceful bow. As they see even amongst felines, there are lazybones too, meow. The lounging layabout outside the city gate sent us a commission for a one-and-done permanent mouse-catching method, meow. In accordance with my instructions, our paws-on-pillows friend changed the sign above his abode from cat's cabin to mousy rest stop, meow. From then on, whenever rodents enter the city, meow, they'll hear a gentle, friendly voice saying, mice, rats, give your weary little paws a rest, and apply some ointment, for your journey must have been tiring. Or mice, rats, take those sharp little things off and enjoy a good scrub down, meow. And just like that, the mice scrub themselves with salt, smear themselves with oil, and allow it to enter the hot water a little. It won't bother me. Alright. And then right into the mouth of our lazy friend, meow. With a Peru failed to fully suppress his laugh. Ah, what a clever calico. The calico bowed gracefully once more, and returned to her place with the elegance of a noblewoman. It's time for this law servant to speak now, isn't it? The farmwood cat spoke flatteringly. The fur of your humble servant was burned away when I was seeking warmth in a pile of firewood. It was really so strange. Your humble servant had just fallen asleep, and it was warm, so warm. One dreamt of being a kitten once more and asleep being in mother's fur. As I slept, my fur caught fire. Thanks for the bus support. Your humble servant often roams through the city sewers, delivering messages, passing info, running errands, that sort of thing. For I'm not afraid of getting dirty. Other than that, really isn't good for anything else. The tabby cat cleared his throat, and the firewood cat flinched, smiling and quietly retreating. Very well. You should now be well aware of the work we regularly do here at the feline firm. We have invited you here because we've encountered an insolvable problem. I'd like to request your help, Monsieur Peru. Even the feline firm, which has seen nearly everything, can find itself at a loss from time to time. Just what devilish difficulty has confounded the conceited tabby boss, that he must seek succor from Peru? My help? Peru's eyes widened once more. The tabby solemnly nodded, and it must be you, and none other. In the house of the master you serve, there is a long-haired cat, is there not? Oh, that snow-white, noble-looking long hair? It was well known to Peru that the master adored that cat. It was as precious to him as life itself. Her sea-green eyes, like those of a princess of yore, were off looking askance at people, as she carefully groomed herself from whisker to tail with her peach-pink tongue, like a heron preening its feathers by the water. Whether taking his meals, his rest, or out on appointments, the master always kept that cat by his side. As for me, I'm going to get married to the long-haired cat. It's already been settled. Oh, married, that's... What? Married? And her whiskers twitched. Peru became even more flustered than the firewood cat. Then how would you live together? Cats like her aren't the type to live like strays, you know. You needn't worry about that. After we are wed, we shall move to a shrine in a faraway land. I've heard there is a cat shrine, and the people there worship cats like gods, and thus we shall worry for neither food nor drink. That simply won't do. The master will never let his long hair leave. Peru continued to stammer out of his response. So, Monsieur Peru, that is precisely why we need you. The tabby jumped onto the cabinet, his golden eyes fixed on Peru. I'm no respected gentleman, only a lowly bellboy. Peru kept waving his hands about together. If I were to steal his cat, if the master knew, not only would I lose my job, I would certainly be taken to court. No, you misunderstand, Monsieur Peru. Tabby Cat showed a mysterious grin, the whiskers around its mouth trembling in the semblance of a smile. We were never even considering asking you to steal, good sir. Cats are magical creatures, and we have other ways. Having spoken, the tabby whistled, and the full-sleeved and calico cats pulled out a pair of boots and a mask respectively, as if by magic. These are magical cat boots and a mysterious cat mask. Come now, try them on. Peru had no choice but to take the treasures. Oh wait, though the boots seemed small, the moment he pulled them on, they became comfortable and fit snugly. As he walked, he felt so light, as if he were tiptoeing. Putting on the mask, he tried to open his mouth to speak. Now some long, difficult to distinguishable trills accompanied the sound, and it sounded nothing like his own voice. This is cat magic, the tabby cheerfully said. As long as you wear those two items, none will recognize you. All you need to do is go home as always and have yourself a good night's sleep. After 3 days, bring the long-haired cat and your master both to the feline firm in accordance with our instructions. Remember, 3 days hence. You mustn't forget. And the master? Did he turn out to be a Puss in Boots? Anyway. A cat's magical boots and a cat's mysterious mask. Just how will they bring the long-furred cat to the feline firm? A new invitation was sent. This one to the master. Master Baron, long have we heard of your esteemed cat. I also have a valuable and exotic cat, and hope that we may bond over our mutually shared appreciation of the feline race. It's Peru, isn't it? It would be my great honor if you would help me do me the pleasure of calling upon my home, such that we might discuss such things in person. Carriage will take you and your cat there at the appointed time, Lady von Frigga. Thanks to Peru's guidance, the calico carefully corrected the typos. Okay. I was kind of expecting typos. And then the cats got to work. Many cats who had once been recipients of the firm's assistance came to help, bringing white satin, nearly expired cans of snapper fish, wines, all to turn the agency into a wedding venue. Any passing by at night would be struck pale with fright to see so many stray cats passing by in the shadows of the city. The broken carriage was quietly repaired and decorated like a gorgeous carriage straight out of a fairy tale. With soft swan feather pillows and the sort of wind chimes cats adore hanging from it ringing all the way, they arrived at the master's stoop. Please, if you would, sir, Peru respectfully addressed his master with bowed head, acting as Lady von Frigga's coachman. Though he was wearing the mysterious cat mask, Peru could not help but feel nervous, as though he had done something wrong, as though he had done something to give the whole game away. Fortunately, the master had a mind only for the luxurious carriage, even tipping the coachman a bag of smora, a small token here. All along the way, cats crossed before the coach. Step aside, make way, whispered Peru from beneath the mask, for he feared being late. Sorry, but we're in a hurry too. We have a wedding to attend, replied the cat. When there were finally no more cats crossing, and it arrived at the feline firm. Oh, such rare and expensive silk, and the whole hall is covered in it, gushed the master, bursting with admiration. The ham and vegetable bake tastes quite good. The chef must be a real deal too. And so many cats, I'm astonished Lady von Frigga is so considerate. They must truly dote on their own exotic cat, just like I love my long hair. The master could simply not stop effusing praise. Such a wonderful event. Come, have a drink and another. Nicanica raised a cup of wine, urging the master to drink more. Then I'll have another. The master was in great mood and tipsy enough that he forgot to ask himself, can cats even speak? Was he drunk before he got there? Witnessed by all the cats and the master, will the tabby cat and the long-furred cat get hitched without a hitch, becoming cat husband and wife, or... Yeah. Are they both male? I don't think it was mentioned, but whatever. The long-haired cat entered, in step with the harp music. Aha, you little rascal. The moment we stepped off the carriage, you upped and vanished. Turns out you were off tidying up. The master was glowing with pride even as he rebuked his cat. The white satin trailing from the long hair was overflowing with flowers. Pure white Cecilias, like snow falling on a spring day. Clap, clap. The cats began to applaud in unison. And they even clapped. They don't have soft pads. So beautiful. Peru put down his knife and fork without even realizing it. Swoosh, whoosh. The cats lifted the curtains. The tabby cat had put on a bow tie and a top hat, and his whiskers and the fur upon his ears was neatly trimmed. He walked towards her with the solemn steps of a knight, welcoming his bride. The full-sleeved cat behind him was swiftly shook out the bag he had shouldered, and within were gifts for the cat couple. Colorful balls of thread, toy mice that squeaked when played with, and a finch-shaped balloon, as well as the long-prepared boat tickets to a cat shrine in a faraway nation. Okay, faraway nation, boat tickets, cat shrine. It has to be Asase shrine in Inazuma, down by Seira Island. Wait, A cold, harsh voice came from above, interrupting the cat's cheerful revelry. The master had sobered up slightly and stood up swaying. He pointed his finger at the tabby. This lout, isn't he the stray always lying about on my windowsill? I know you, always leering inside and always up to no good. Didn't the invitation mention a precious exotic cat? And where's Lady Von Frigga? These cat toys. And aren't these from my house? Where'd you steal them? Where'd you lot steal them? And all this silk and wine? All stolen too, I presume? Daddy, please don't get angry. The long-haired cat quickly began to pout. Yes, Daddy, I'll take good care of. The tabby said dismissively. Hearing Daddy twice like that infuriated the master. You shut your dirty mouth. How could some random stray from Arconner's Ware with impure bloodline possibly be worthy of marrying my Longhair? And you the scoundrel calling himself the coachman of the Lady Von Frigga. You're in cahoots with this gaggle of strays, and helping them with their little scam, aren't you? Let me see just who's hiding under that mask. The master stalked towards Peru. I was about to wrench the mask off his face. All the blood in Peru's body seemed to drain, as though it had been softened by some powerful magnet. Run, run, a host of voices echoed in his ear. His heart beat like a drum. His legs were stiff and wouldn't even move a single step. It's over. I'm done for. Peru covered his eyes in despair. But just as he did so, he glimpsed something that seemed to be on his cheeks. Something that seemed to be shaking, like trembling hairs. Snow-white whiskers had grown on his cheeks, but it was no old man's whiskers, but those of a cat. He twitched his ears and found they were pointy and quick. He subconsciously arched his back and let out a meow. Just before he could have been caught by the master, he agilely fled under the table. Run, Peru, run! For the Peru that had grown cat ears. These words alone remained ringing in his mind. Run, run! Peru was like a gust of wind in a black cloak. Run, run! Following the spiral staircase upward, he ran towards the feline firm's exit. Just where did those magical cat boots go? Peru knew not. All he did know was that he ran as swiftly, as agilely as a cat. And he also saw the world from below like a cat. Where'd the mysterious cat mask go? The answer gradually became clear to Peru. The boots and mask had become a part of him. Or rather, he had become a cat. As he had been wearing the coachman's white gloves, he was now a piebald cat. Run, run! Who was saying that? Peru tilted his head, and the tabby with his bow tie and long hair with white satin trailing her were beside him, running one behind the other. Run, run! Monsieur Peru, please drive us to the port of that carriage. To the port on that carriage. Behind them, cats were jumping up and down, tearing off the decorative ribbons. The wine and salad upon the banquet table had been knocked over, and the entire mess had stopped the master in his tracks. My Longhair, come back! None heeded the master's cries. With things being as they were, all he could do was take the tabby and the Longhair to the port safely. Peru simply couldn't deal with anything else, and besides, cats have small paws, so they can only handle one thing at a time. Pitter-patter, plip-plop. It began to rain outside, and lightning flashed. In the pitch-black night, there was but a brief moment of illumination before the rumble of thunder rolled in. And only that one small door was still open. Without a single guard, they were probably hiding from the sun. Countless whirlpools swirled upon the surface of the lake upon which the ship was docked. If you didn't look too carefully, you might think it but a shadow of the bridge. But for Peru, who now had the exceptional vision of a cat, it was immediately apparent. Holding the wedding gifts from the full-sleeved cat, the tabby grabbed the long hair and jumped from the carriage, swishing through the air and onto the boat in an instant. It's all thanks to you, Monsieur Peru. The tabby cat gave a rare show of respect, genuinely bowing. Now away, ere the master catches up. Go, go, go to the cat shrine. Go, go, live a life of joy. Moved by having accomplished something so great in secret, tears began to flow from Peru's eyes, though he still didn't know just how he was going to live as a cat. That said, it seemed the master has come into another springtime of love, whispered the servants, but this was something that happened much later. Awakened by the blinding sunlight, Peru opened his eyes and subconsciously began to rub them. His hands and feet were back. They were no longer furry cat's paws. What happened last night? He tried his best to remember. The piebald Peru had turned the carriage around and come back with a clickety-clack. The clock then had not yet chimed 12 times. Before the other carriages had returned, he had leaped off like any other cat might, and gone back inside the house without anyone noticing. So now, blast. If the sun was that high up in the sky, he should have started his shift already. He bounced up from the bed and put his uniform on, becoming the bellboy Peru once more. Yet the great door to the master's manse was shut tight, and the hanging sign read, "No visitors." The cat's gone, and the master is so distraught he's taken ill and collapsed. Such a beautiful cat. Even I liked it when I saw it. No wonder thieves set their sights on it. Poor thing. Could anyone ever treat it as well as our master? So whispered the master's servants in secret. Looks like the master didn't need a bellboy on duty today. Peru had gotten a rare day off, but he was still deeply worried. So where did he go? The feline firm. That night, and for many nights more, Peru returned to where the trash-carting carriages stopped, and checked the shadows under every lamp, but never saw any dark entrance to a cellar. The boots and mask too were gone. It was just as though no magic had ever occurred, and Peru had never met any talking cats. Perhaps as the tabby cat boss had left, the feline firm had been made to disband. It's all just a dream. The illness plagued the master for 3 months, until one summer morning he suddenly recovered. The sound of the master's humming emanated from his bedroom. It was a lively, happy song, the kind of song youths love to sing when inviting a partner to dance. "Peru, come here," the master waved to him. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Peru's heart began to pound nervously once more. It couldn't be that. This suit of mine is already quite worn. Dispose of it and purchase a new one for me. As for the style, something fashionable will do. The master spoke kindly. Oh, Peru relaxed, and walked out holding the old suit. Though isn't the master the really old-fashioned conservative type? Peru and the other servants were all thinking the same thing. A piece of paper fell from the pocket of the suit. After the tabby had left, the other cats had written a letter to the master, masquerading as their long hair, writing to report she was safe and sound. "Daddy, I'm fine. I've attached some dried fish and mouse turkey. Please enjoy. Also, Lady Von Fricka who proposed is a real person. She has feelings for you, Daddy. You should find someone too." I wonder if they got there safely to the Sase Shrine. Anyway, that's all for the books. Is there anything else? Maybe materials, maybe geography. Did we get some new stuff in Fontaine? Yeah, we do. Now, Fontaine Hot Springs. Salsa once painted the scenery here. Though the mist steaming upward from the hot springs towering Mount Automnici rises into the clouds, with the Clementine land piercing through its base. Barrow Region. Morning in the Barrow Region's clear weather. Salsa once painted the scenery here. A clear morning in the Barrow Mountains, the dew left by the previous night's autumn winds has not yet evaporated. Petrichor, the lovely legends of Petrichor. There are many beautiful and moving legends about Petrichor, but none of them have changed life in that little town. Whenever the sea breeze carries the sound of the evening bell away, The townsfolk know that another leisurely day has passed. Faded castle stage of faded gold. The conductor, bereft of music, once lamented a past that could never return here, at the end of all greatness and glory. Secret locale of the ancient order. Many secrets they uncovered here, but no answers. What, so they're all questions? Nityamyani, slumbering eternal city. There is a capital under the sea. Under the sea, alright, where only the bell tolls. This great cavern that sank beneath the waves was once a prosperous royal port. If the ancient bell's tolling could pierce the barrier of ocean, lost souls may yet find their homeward road. Gradus ad Capitolium. The dazzling Iker once ran through the waterways to the great lake in the north, carrying justice and gladness all across the high sea. That was Pax Remuria, a wondrous time of glory and hope. Domus Requiem. Please grant them eternal rest, and may the light ever shine upon them. Harmony's shadow. Fate is often naught but a shadow in which humans may glimpse happiness, all the better to push them upon the path to destruction. The end of an ancient dream. I had a dream. In that dream, even mortals had free will, and their fates were undecided. Is that all? I believe so. And one shot so small. Anyway. Will be living beings next. Do I have anything new? Aha, the Praetorians. Praetorian Golem. Tutorial. Let's observe first. A moving statue shaped like a warrior, who will swing their sword at all who dare trespass upon the area upon their guardianship. It is unclear if it is a soul or magic that powers them. They say that legions of golems once conquered the nations that called the High Sea home, and this might have been amongst their number. The great towers and palaces that now sleep beneath the waves once bore witness to the fate of those who stand in the path of the wheel of fate. Kind of a cool enemy, sure. Legatus Golem. A centaur-shaped golem forged of marble and brass. Under the hard stone exterior flows ichor blood. Towering as one who commands a legion, it is ready to trample any foe that might transgress against its honor. The now sunken civilization believed that war was as music, an art of rhythms to be followed. Therefore, one who marshals our legion must be like a conductor, whose shield and sword are like the strings of a bow of a violin, performing a blazing melody like the raging flames upon the merciless battlefield. War is necessary evil on the path to all-encompassing peace. Thus spoke a Harmast, one who once led the Golem legions to conquest over the entire High Sea. Let's see a tutorial for these guys. Oh, it's this. Alright. The Knave. Avatar. Oh, there we go. The Knave, fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. The ancient Bale Moon blood flows within her fate, granting her all that the destiny once had, yearning, power, and curses alike. In her short life she has supped of countless agonies and drunk deep of the cup of suffering, just as her ancestors once did when they imbibed poison at the rising of the dark sun. Still, neither suffering nor fate has proved a fatal toxin to her. Instead, they are the firewood fueling her quietly burning hearth, and are the fire bringing her children warmth. Someday the hearth's fire faint radiance shall burn the old world away, incinerating the final scion of the baleful moon as well. Someday, these still immature children will break free of ancient fate and usher in the future, without tears she dreams of. But until that time comes, until dawn breaks, the one named Perware shall stand guard over their fragile sweet dreams. If fate should pave for us a pale road, let us dye it in the bloody crimson of the pale moon. Even a flickering, famished fire can burn all suffering away before daybreak. Well, there we go. Wonder where her parents are then. She lost a line in the Crimson Moon Dynasty. You don't know. Encompassing gladness. Shanyun's specialty. Before you can even look shocked to see these fragrant meatballs, she says, "Ah, and you thought such pedestrian culinary work could confound one? Now then, enjoy it while it remains hot. And may one wish you peace, joy, prosperity, and freedom from distress." Huh, what? A little ritual formally now and then could do no ill. Pick what you like. Navia's specialty. Come on, pick the one you like. Along with the familiar cries of joy, you see before your eyes the aesthetically pleasing double-layered dessert stand and the neat rows of macarons with different expressions painted onto them. One thought suddenly fascinates you. What expressions would Navia make if you're given in to greed? And steal all of them for yourself. Fashion show. Chiori's specialty. At the ministrations of her nimble fingers, even the common takoyaki is transformed, garbed in glorious fillings that serenade the senses, regaling your taste buds and eyes with such a grand feast that threatens to overwhelm them. It would be no overstatement to call this a masterpiece of culinary artistry. Hearthfire's trail. Alakino's specialty. The raw meat bereft of any excessive seasoning brings a rush of both blood and brutal freshness, engraving an elegant ensemble of flavors on your tongue. The final aftertaste is cleaner and neater still, a mere reflection of how its maker handles certain situations. It's fucking raw. Honey char siu. A type of roasted meat from Liu, richly red in color, aromatic and intensely flavorful, while one might even faint from gluttony if one stared at it for too long. Between mouthfuls of delicious meat and rich sauce, one bowl of rice might seem too measly a match for this taste experience. Nah, should be enough. Unless your bowl is particularly small, then yeah. Ah, here we go. Fading candle. Not too sure what you're supposed to do with the spark at the bottom, but you know. A candle that you picked up from the ruins after completing the duel against the knave. An ancient ritual passed down through the Crimson Moon dynasty. It dictated that chosen orphans would be made to carry candles and pass through a long passageway alone. The moment when the candle went out would be the beginning of their new lives. When the age of dark sun shining over the realm came, when the candle's flame flickers in the hands of sinners, light may become shadows, making footsteps faint and masking fatal intent. You cannot tell what material this is made of, and it weeps no wax after burning, releasing only black ash that scatters into the wind, drifting towards the distant unknown. There's no wax? Oh. Silken feather. A crystal that you picked up in the ruins after completing the duel against the knave. The already cold blood and fire still maintain the shape of a feather that is framed with solidified sleek black threads. Before their thoughts have matured, young children are reliant on the meticulous care of their parents, just as fledglings need the aegis of an adult wing. The young birds too will one day spread their now abundant plumage and fly away for more distant skies. Such is life, and such is fate. It is to fulfill such wishes that Feather wove dangerous spider silk into a facsimile of feathers, that she might grant her family some warmth. So she's really a spider, but she's making it look like a feather to give the illusion of warmth. Denial and judgment. An earring that she picked up in the ruins after completing the duel against the knave. The red symbol upon it resembles the image in her eyes. A decoration and a rejection alike. The orphaned lives... orphaned alive live lives filled with suffering from childhood. This she sees and keeps in her heart. As fate casts an examining eye on humanity, so too will humans cast judgment upon fate. Someday, honor, injustice, misery, and tears will be denied alongside the old world. Before that moment comes, the last child of the Crimson Moon will record fate's every sin. So she is the last child, but I'm not sure how she came to be. Was this 500 years ago? Or even further? Actually, it should be way further, yeah. Not sure where she came from. Ruined hilt. A stone hilt obtained from an ancient statue. Its luster has long been lost to the depredations of seawater. Perhaps these golems were not first made for battle. Though their imperishable forms undoubtedly surpass that of mortal flesh, still, even imperishability has limits when pitted against time. Splintered hilt. A stone hilt obtained from an ancient statue. The chips and grooves speak to the brutal battles its owner once weathered. Perhaps their obsession with immortality led the one who made the golems to construct their heavy longswords of marble rather than metal. Today, this broken hilt stands testament to the utter falsity of that ideal. Still smoldering hilt. A stone hilt obtained from an ancient statue. Only the recentness of its separation from its owner may explain the as yet unextinguished flame within. The path to one's ideals is sometimes paved in fire and blood, and this is why the giant sword that was forged. Alas, that which waited for them at the end of that bloody road was not a golden future, but a fate that even a god could not defy. Fate. Alright, and that's it. We got Nightwind Horn, an exquisite horn Dvorak, gifted to the traveler. They say the tones of the horn are both rich and mellow as well as gentle, like a gentle evening breeze, blowing among a thicket of trees. So Fontanian composers often use horns to vividly bring the imagery of hunters and forests to life. Without a doubt, this instrument is eminently suited to the musical gala celebrating life. Ancient auto-harmonic music box. It is said that after the realm of yore sunk, an ancient order known as the Golden Troop arose to succeed it. They gathered within the fated castle, studying the secrets of the spirit and fate. They built all manner of musical devices in imitation of constructs of the Golden Realm's golden age. This portable auto-harmonic music box is one such device. Unusually, it resembles a piano more than reed pipes, a quirk of the designer perhaps. The ancient civilization saw fate as a cruel drama, a script that had been fixed long ago, never to be changed, no matter how the cast or their cantos might shift. By collecting and imitating what cruel dramas remained, they were indeed able to create what ignorant antecedents would term magic. Yet in matters of fate, they would fail to go any further than the people of bygone times. Alright, I think that'll do it for me. Yeah, I don't read weapons. They're too long. Guide to Wondrous Sights, web events. Your character Moalani is now available. Oh. Really? New web event. We could do that. Version satisfaction. Nah, I can't be bothered. Alright, we'll do the web event and then we'll end it. Alright. Oh shit, I have to log in. Give me a second. There we go. Alright, let's start. Hey there, friend. Are you here to visit Natlan? Indeed I am. Hello. Yep. I've heard about it in my previous travels. I see. In that case, you must be looking for a reliable local guide. Then let me take you to see the beautiful sights of Natlan. Isn't that Paimon's job? A group photo? No problem. Let me think of a good pose. Click to take a photo. Anywhere to continue. Oh, you're pretty good at photography. Those big guys are called long-necked rhinos. Just like their name, they have super long necks. I've always wanted to try sliding down their necks. It must be so much fun. It might even feel good for them. It's like a massage. Next, I'll show you around the other tribes and introduce you to some of my friends. This way, stay close to me. These are the ores mined by the children of Echoes. The colors are really beautiful. There's not much different. Their poses are the same, but just the background changes. What do you think? They look pretty cool in the photo, right? Kachina, Children of the Echo. Kachina, I brought a new friend. This is the Traveler. Hi, I'm Kachina. Nice to meet you. It's okay, don't be nervous, Kachina. Maybe next time you can try waving from Turbo Twirly? Oh yeah, and this is for you. Ah, this puffer is so cute. Thank you, Mualani. It's a puffer fish. Be careful, it might spike you. We're all good friends from now on. Let's play beach volleyball together next time. Wonder if they have blitzball. Oh, be careful and watch your step. Well, here, there's the tribe living with Yumkasaurus. Oh, the air and scenery up here is so refreshing. Each tribe's scenery has its own unique charm. I can imagine. There's the obsidian stone worshipping them. Even has the insignia on it. And off he goes. Kinich. Hello. Hey Kinich, I brought the surfboard you ordered. Wait, you ordered a surfboard? Actually, he'll be very good at it. Because he has that zip line. To grapple. It's guaranteed to be sturdy and durable. So it'll hold up when you leap off a waterfall. Even when you leap off a waterfall. The quality looks good. Is this your new Clyde? It's a new friend of mine. We're just enjoying the scenery around Natlan. I remember that you also take commissions from the Adventurers Guild, right? I think you two will get along very well. Oh. Is he also part of the Adventurers Guild? You're almost there. Hang in there. Yeah, here at the People of the Springs, the tribe where I live. I hope you like the atmosphere here. People of the Springs, Children of Echoes, and Yumkasaurus people. Great! We've already taken the commemorative photos that we wanted to take. Is there anything else you'd like to try? If you want to try out the local delicacies, go souvenir shopping. Try out water sports. I can help you arrange those plans. The hell is that? Is that like a bridge? You haven't decided yet? That's okay. Want to see my surfing tricks? Watch closely. Sharky surfboard surfs up. Want to give it a try? I'll pick out a suitable surfboard for you, so let's have fun together. Oh, nice. Can we actually go surfing? It might be very cool. Okay. It's a little introduction. Kind of nice. And with that, I'll bid you adieu. Until Nutland, guys. Next stream will be Nutland. I'm not sure what I'll be doing there, but maybe our conquest, maybe something else. We'll see where the quest takes us. It should be our conquest straight away. Should be. Yeah, as always, I split our conquest into like two parts for each act. So yeah. And we leave exploration to last. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peach.